Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of WoW Weekly with Myst. And for this week's events, we have Arena Skirmish. The PvP brawl will be Warsong Scramble. Hollow's End is still going on, and this is the last week for it. It's going to end on November 1st. So the pre-patch is pretty much our topic this week as far as retail's concerned. We got this roadmap here. You can see October 25th, that's when the pre-patch begins. We're going to go over the details as we go through this roadmap. So October 25th, pre-patch begins. Phase 1's pretty basic. There's a little detail to go over here, but more or less it's pretty basic changes. Okay, so Phase 1, we're going to have the new talent system. So when you log in, you will notice your talents reset. The next thing you're going to be able to do is the UI interface. You can edit your whole interface now. As you can see, the mini-maps there's your buff frames and your spell bars and all that. I started off kind of liking this, and then I didn't afterwards. You'll have to just fiddle with it yourself and see how you feel about it. There's definitely some stuff lacking, but it is better than what the default UI is right now. The next thing is that Mage, Priest, and Rogue will be available to all races. So if you want to have a bunch of those classes, you can have them on whatever race you want to have them on. Achievements. There will be some new achievements that you will notice when you log in. One is your 500 mount achievement. Here's a little bit of footage I took in the beta. This is the mount you'll get for the 500 mount achievement. Okay. Can't fly. I don't think this guy would fly anyway. But this is him. They did change the way he is, so he looks like a soul shape now, which I don't know how I feel about that one. Not something I ever thought that I would want, you know. Yeah. I'm definitely more interested in the other ones now. Let's see. Yeah, like I was okay with a soul shape looking all like that, but I don't want my mount to look like that. So I'm definitely gonna probably go after this one. I think this one's my favorite for them. So at least the one I don't like so much is free, basically, for just collecting mounts, so it's not something I got, because, you know, it sucks to get a crappy mount for a 500, but on the other hand, I would rather the free mount be the crappy one, because that means I'm not going through a lot of hard work to get a mount that I don't even like. So yeah. But anyway, if you do like this is the 500 mount that you will have. Okay, so one thing that I was just thinking of right now that I wasn't when I recorded that little clip is that this would have been the perfect Shadowlands mount because it looks like a soul shape. Soul shapes were a major feature, I would say. You know, as someone who mained Night Fae all of Shadowlands, I would say soul shapes were a big part of Shadowlands. For me, anyway, and probably for a lot of other Night Fae characters. So, I think, personally, that would have suited Shadowlands really well, and yeah. And I get that, you know, technically, I guess we're getting it in Shadowlands because they're releasing it on, you know, pre-patch. But But I do definitely think that this should have been in the picture a bit ago. I might not be the biggest fan of this mount, but the fact that it looks like a soul shape. There's probably people out there that wanted a mount that looked like a soul shape. Here you go. And because of that, I totally think that Dragonflight should have a 600 mount. So hopefully that's coming in the future, even if it's not right away. Maybe like throw it in halfway through the expansion or something. But we should have a 550 and a 600. So anyway, that's the mount one. The pet one, there's 4 of them. And I don't understand why the pet got 4 achievements, but the mount only got 1. But anyway, many more mini minions. That is to collect 1,250 unique pets, and you will get the crystalline mini monster as a reward. Proven pet parent. This is to collect 1,500 unique pets, and your pet reward will be the secretive frog duck. What can I say? They love me. This one is to collect 1,750 unique pets, and your pet reward will be a Violet of Violence. And then the final achievement for pets is Good Things Come in Small Packages. This is to collect 2,000 unique pets. The pet reward is Mr. Muscoxylus or Muscoxylus. I remember showing off this pet in a video a while back, and I struggled saying that name then too. But that is the reward for that. So those are the achievements for like how many unique pets you have. But there is also this one that I recorded in the beta. Here is the family battler of the Dragon Elf. Rewards Lady Feathersworth. Lady Feathersworth is, you know, little bird. I like it. Yeah, looks not too bad. Whoops. Ooh, what's this? Grand Theft Mammoth. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. So, get a mammoth permanently. The new mammoth mounts, they do look really nice. I have covered them in past videos. Here's one of them. This one is very cool, and if you look at the tooltip here, it says first hunt of each week. So there'll be some hunts of some sort, obviously. I like this guy. I think he's pretty cool. Okay, so we've gone over the achievements. Next up, some character changes. So Res Sickness is now going to last 1 minute. It was 10 minutes. If you resurrect at a spirit healer below level 10, you're now going to suffer 10% durability loss. And characters that resurrect at a spirit healer at level 10 and above will suffer 50% durability loss. This one still confuses me. It confused me when I first mentioned the Res Sickness change. And the reason it confuses me is because you pretty much never need it in retail. Like, yeah, if you're taking deaths, chances are you're in an M+ or a raid. You're not really resurrecting at a spirit healer, you know? I think something like this would work a lot better in Classic. But whatever. I guess people were complaining. Just seems like a weird one. Also, up to 5 players of any faction can tag an enemy now and earn quest credit and the drops from that mob. War mode is unchanged for this. Dungeons and raids. The change there is that the Shadowlands raids will be using group loot now. So there is that. Items and rewards. I had done a video a while back going over the Seed of Renewed Souls toy. I'll link that at the end of this video so you can check that out. But that is going to be your new toy. It's going to hold all your soul shapes. And it has a 5-minute cooldown. And pretty easy to get. You just kind of purchase it. For any additional info, you can just check out my other video. Eternity's End class set bonus is going to be considered legacy now and disabled in combat. Skipping back to pets again. There's been a change with the upgrade stones, so they now are applied to pets directly through the pet journal. Some PvP stuff. There's going to be a new rated game mode. It is rated solo shuffle. So players will have a rating tracked for each of their character specs. Just like in rated battlegrounds and arenas, you'll be able to earn seasonal rewards and achievements, credit towards vicious mounts, weekly Great Vault progress, and conquest. Additionally, cross-faction is enabled for rated solo shuffle, so Horde and Alliance can match together and play against each other. I think that one's a great change. I think we're going to see a lot more people going after vicious mounts now. Gladiator's Distinction, which is the trinket set bonus, it now provides 10% reduction to incoming crowd control effects, in addition to the existing effects. Trinkets with the Relentless effect are now capped at level 60. They say there's no plans for a Dragonflight Season 1 version of this trinket. And some just small little additional things that I thought we'd add that you will see go live on the 25th. Well, the first thing is the bags, which I actually recorded in the beta, so let's just skip to that and I'll show you some of the new changes with the bags. Okay, so I've wiped the sound out of this video, this little clip, for whatever reason. That day when I went into beta, the game sound was a lot louder for whatever reason, and yeah, and so I would have had to increase my volume so you could hear me, but since it was a live recording, that would also increase the music. So I just thought it'd be easier that we have no game sound and I just voice over. So here I am fiddling with the bags. As you can see, they are kind of organized, so you can kind of like decide what you want in each bag. For those that don't know, on retail, I use an add-on called Addy Bags. It kind of does the same thing, except more severe. There's a lot more categories you can have. And because of that, you can end up using quite a bit of resources in your add-on memory. So yeah, as you see, there was an option to swap to regular bags. I'm not a big fan of that, so we're going to swap back. So you do have the choice to have one big box and all your items in it, or the separate bags, which I think is great. It's something that I really think the default system should have, because it's nice to have everything all in one box, but some people might just know that bag 2 has all their gems, or bag 4 has their junk, like it. Yeah, it's nice to have that option. So yeah, this is the bags. This, as you can see, I'm on a character that has nothing in their inventory, so I can't show you the stacks, but things do stack up to 1,000. Not everything, but quite a few things. So there is that as well. Also, the barbershop is gonna be free now, so you can use the barbershop whenever you want. Don't have to worry about the money you might spend. I never found the barbershop too pricey, so I never really And yeah, it wasn't something like, oh, I have this much gold. Should I use the barbershop? Like, I can't say there's really much in the game that makes me think about whether I should spend it. Maybe mounts that get max bid on the black market, but aside from that, there's everything in the game's pretty decently priced. There's a new feature. It is the interact key. So instead of, clicking on an NPC with your mouse, you can, use the interact key. The default is F. So if you are using the F key for something else, you are going to have to go into your keybinds. To enable the option, you'll go into options, controls, and then there'll be enable interact key. Another new feature is the press and hold casting. This will allow you to continuously cast a spell by holding the hotkey instead of having to repeatedly press the button. Only keyboard hotkeys are supported. Holding down a mouse click will still only cast the spell, a single time. Doesn't work with macros and items, and to enable this one, you go to options, combat, and then press and hold casting. The next new feature is action targeting. So this will automatically target enemies as you approach them, allowing you to start casting abilities immediately. Dynamically switches targets based on what you're looking at. Works alongside the standard targeting system. If you need to lock onto a target, simply press tab and you'll enter combat. To enable this one, it's options, combat, enable action targeting. And the last new feature is display name size adjustment. Players can now set a minimum text size. Enabling this option will make names fade with distance instead of shrinking in size. And to enable, you hit options, accessibility, and then minimum character name size. So that is basically what you're going to see tomorrow. So yeah. And speaking of tomorrow, does have a server downtime. So servers won't be back up till 3 p.m. Pacific. I do plan on streaming, but because of that, stream will start, 4 or 5 my time, somewhere around there. It'll be scheduled and you can check the time. Okay, so that is phase 1. Looking back at our roadmap, phase 2, November 15th. This is when Drakthir is playable. So let's go over that. Phase 2 is where your main content is. If you are not playing WoW right now and you're wondering when to come back to the game, this is when you would. Anything that's happening tomorrow, you could easily just wait and, check it out with the rest of the content. I'm not sure why they felt the need to put 2 phases in. Obviously, I guess they want to see how people react to the new talents and the new UI. But anyway, phase 2 will be on November 15th. It is going to have the playable Drakthir. So you'll be able to go 58 to 60, fiddle around with the new talents and all that. You will be able to see the new zone, obviously, because you'll be on the Drakthir. So they will be out in their new zone, which is the Forbidden Reach. The dungeon Alderman, which I will also share at the end of this video. So Alderman is a new dungeon. It was really fun. I had a blast, even although there were some UI issues the day I was testing it. But it was a fun dungeon. I've always really liked Alderman. And then, of course, we'll have the in-game event Primal Storm, which I went over in last week's episode. So you can definitely just go check out last week's WoW Weekly, and there's a timestamp there showing off the Primal Storm. So that is phase 2. So back to the roadmap. You can see that November 28th is a launch day. So that will be when we legit have Dragonflight. And then December 13th is when they'll open up the first raid. I'll recap on this, like, later on. I didn't want to really recap on the primal storms this week because I literally just did it last week. But what I will do is when the week of November 15th starts rolling around a little, when that week rolls around, I'll recap at that point. And I'll throw in like the primal storms part and all that. I just felt like it was a little early to recap that. So, yeah. As you can see, there is also Twitch drops listed there. For those that don't know, I do stream on both YouTube and Twitch. So I will be streaming over there if you want to get the Twitch drops. If not, there's going to be other WoW creators on Twitch that will have the drops as well. And they haven't really confirmed what exactly are going to be the items. And for those that don't know how Twitch drops works, I actually did one recently with Overwatch. So basically what it is you'll go to Twitch, sign up if you're new to Twitch, and you link your Battle.net to your Twitch account. And then when Twitch drops happen, all you do is you just stay in that stream, right? So you can play the stream. What I do is I'll play the stream and then I'll mute, and then I just go off and do whatever else. Unless I actually want to watch the streamer. But for the most part, a lot of the time you're just there to collect your reward and then you leave, right? So that's one way you can do it so that you're not really forced to watch the streamer if you don't want to. You could just don't pause it, because I'm not sure if the Twitch rewards go through if it's just a paused video. That's why I usually have it run and then I mute it. And it's usually a good chunk of hours. I know for the Overwatch stuff, it's been, well, there was two different days of it, but one of those days was like 5 hours, so this could be 2 to 5 hours per day of these Twitch drops. I'm kind of interested what they're gonna do on the November 28th one. Worth noting that these aren't one-day drops. They shouldn't be anyway. Normally, they'll give usually at least a few days to a week to collect the drops. So this doesn't mean that you absolutely have to be watching a Twitch stream on launch day. If you like to just kind of have your fun and, only have your sounds going on, you'll be able to, yeah. So I'll go over more of the Twitch drop details once we know, which I imagine we'll find out fairly soon, since the first one is going to be on November 15th. Also, Blizzard did announce that they're going to be doing a series of animated shorts on the Dragonflights. I think this is a great idea. I started watching their animated shorts when they started doing them back in 2016 with Overwatch, and I've always really enjoyed their little clips over there. Same with cinematics and WoW, they're just amazing. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with this little series. So the first one is going to premiere on the day of the pre-patch, which is, the 25th. So that one's going to feature Stormmy, the aspect of the bronze Dragonflight, as he delves into an ancient past that holds the key to saving their uncertain future. So here's a little trailer on the Legacies animated shorts.
You must decide which path you will take. Which story you will tell. An ancient enemy has returned. You will play a part in the events to come. And you will have to make a difficult choice, as we did. Stormu. Come, there is much I would show you. My story is already written. But yours, and that of all Drakthir, is only beginning to unfold.
Also in retail news, we have a sale going on. So that is the Dragon Pack bundle, which has gone on sale multiple times before, but it is on sale again. There's a 65% discount on pets and mounts, and the sale lasts until the 31st. Another thing I thought I'd add is this right here. So this is the dragon riding dual mount. You can do /follow and it turns you into a whelpling that follows the rider. So yeah, this does basically turn your dragon riding mount into a passenger mount. And the final piece of news I have for retail this week has to do with another book that is coming out. So Christy Golden, who is very popular in, writing WoW books and stuff, she has a new one coming out. It is called A is for Azeroth, the ABCs of World of Warcraft. And it's got a release date of July 25th, 2023. So basically the book will have, popular characters and locations, mobs, dragons, in a alphabetical order, more or less. Okay, so next in news, WoW Classic. So here on screen is the hot fixes for the week for Wrath Classic. Also, Season of Mastery transfers have been disabled. They said it'll return the week of November 1st. And then the final thing that I thought we'd mention is that on the Chinese Wrath Classic realms, there's some interesting mounts that you can buy just with your real money. The X51 Nether Rocket Extreme can be bought for $70. The Magic Rooster Egg, that one can be bought for $41. Woolly White Rhino for $30. Dragon Kite for $12. And Spectral Tiger Cub for $21. They always get the good stuff. They just got the Spectral Mount not long ago for a classic promotion. And I will stress that this is classic. So this isn't like, they can't buy this for retail. But they can get it for the Chinese Wrath Classic realms. I don't know. It's just, I guess it's like a little upsetting that I can't just go buy the rooster egg like they can. And I've just always wanted that mount. Yeah. Because it's unique. There's no mount. And there's very few of those nowadays. Very few mounts that are unique. Nothing looks like it. And and that's why I've always really loved the Magic Rooster Egg. It's one of the last unique ones lying around there. So yeah, that's 3 mounts and 2 pets that they can buy. And I feel like $21 for the Spectral Tiger Cub, like, that's damn good. I feel like $21 is really not that much, when you see that sucker go for millions every time. Yeah, for millions of gold, that is. I have most of that list. I have the Nether Rocket Extreme. I have the Woolly White Rhino. I have the Dragon Kite. So I do have most of that list, but I don't have the Magic Rooster Egg and the Spectral Tiger Cub. And I would, that would equal $62 to buy both. And I'm just going to say I would totally just do it. Yeah, just to have them. So let me know what you guys think of this not being on both sides, because that's really my only, my only thought when I see this stuff is that why is it so alienated, Why just the one side? Why, like, if you're gonna add it, why don't you just add it for everyone? So that concludes this week's episode of WoW Weekly with Myst. Hope you have fun in the pre-patch when that launches tomorrow, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.